What role does the media play in an election campaign? In Canada, if the last 3 weeks of television are anything to go by, the main job of the media is to get in the way, to stand between the candidates and the electorate and make sure the former get as little as possible of their message through to the latter. As a journalist, it pains me to admit this, but if voter turnout is falling and voter apathy is rising, my colleagues and I in the news business may have something to answer for. We're doing a remarkably good job of smothering actual news. Every night at 10 or 11 p.m., I'll flip on the television, hoping to be updated on what happened that day in the election. What did Stephen Harper say? Did Michael Ignatieff give a speech? And what did he say? Did Jack Layton announce a new policy? And what did he say about it? Like a lot of Canadians, I don't regularly watch Supper Hour or late-night TV news, and over the last few weeks I've been reminded of why that is. The party leaders are furiously crisscrossing 10 provinces and 3 territories, bidding for the right to govern this country, which is a serious business. And they're actually putting forward arguments and ideas aimed at persuading you to vote for them. But unless you happen to go to a rally, you're going to hear remarkably few of their words. On many days, you'll hear none. During the first week of the campaign, the most important story, to judge by the volume of coverage it received, was how the Conservatives were controlling who could get into their events. And it's sad to say, but if you were running a political party, you would probably do likewise. Why? Because a 1-hour campaign speech by any of the party leaders will, if they're lucky, get 7 seconds on the nightly news. And if just one person heckles, protests, holds up a sign, or ideally does all of the above while wearing a chicken costume, that's what those 7 seconds are going to be made up of. Gaffes, goofs, stumbles, and trivialities get a growing share of coverage at the expense of issues of substance. And even when we do cover policy ideas, which are hard and boring, we tend to spend most of our time in a postmodern analysis of which part of the electorate a policy proposal must have been designed to woo. And then, for good measure, we usually explain to voters what they should think of it all. The irony is that Canadians are clearly interested in the substance of the election and in hearing directly from the politicians. An average of nearly 4 million people tuned into the English language debate last week, and nearly 11 million Canadians watched at least part of the broadcast. Those are blockbuster TV ratings, the kind of audience seen only a few times a year for events like the Stanley Cup Finals. If Canadians are bored with politics, they sure have a funny way of showing it. So if you're interested in deciding who deserves your vote, here's my advice. Turn off the TV. Go to the websites of each of the parties. Go to their YouTube channels. Watch some speeches by the leaders. Read the party platforms. And then make up your own mind. For The Agenda with Steve Paikin, I'm Tony Keller.